Editing is not a one-size-fits-all process. And before you start working on a proposal, it's worth giving some thought to how intensively you're going to edit it. It's good to have the ability to edit at a range of levels and to be able to explain to PIs what that range is and that they can select from within it. Here are some factors to consider. Of course, if you have more time available, you can edit more intensively. Poor quality writing will benefit more from intensive editing. If you have a strong pre-existing relationship with the PI, they will probably welcome more intensive edits from you, whereas if it's a new relationship or has had some past conflict, you might want to use a lighter touch. PI personality is also a big factor. Some people accept criticism easily, others don't. PI experience, someone who is more experienced may not need as much editing, although that's not always the case. English proficiency, and of course the PI's desire for your editing service. I tell PIs that I'm happy to review drafts at any stage. Some people are willing to share early drafts, others are not. But you may go through a couple rounds of editing at different intensity with the same proposal. And we'll talk more about some of the technical aspects of editing levels in a little while. Here are some potential emotional reactions you may encounter from PIs when you edit their writing. Now let's talk about how to deal with them. So sometimes faculty are embarrassed when you point out their errors. My suggestion to counteract embarrassment is to be very matter of fact about it. Don't act like you're revealing a terrible secret when you point out their errors, and just say that, you know, it's a fact that everyone needs editing, including you. We all need somebody else to look at our writing to make it the best it can be. Some PIs may be defensive. If you get that reaction, I would say just give them very low level factual edits that no one could disagree with, and edits that are essential for compliance with the RFP. Some people may even react with irritation. If that happens, try not to take it personally. Remember, you were just trying to help them improve their proposal, but back off and only give them what they want. Some PIs may feel insecure or even defeated when they see your suggestions. I think this is a risk, especially with new faculty who are working on their first proposal. They may think to themselves, if I can't even get my grammar right, how can I ever get funded? These PIs really need some praise and encouragement from us. And we can let them know that proposals from more experienced faculty and successful faculty need editing too. They're not alone in that. Hopefully, PIs will ultimately feel a lot of positive emotions around the editing process. Relief that they can rely on you, gratitude for your help, confidence, and trust. Although the other person's emotional reactions are not under your control, you can avoid some of those negative reactions we discussed by taking care with the tone of your editing communications. Here are some techniques for framing your comments. The first is to suggest rather than direct. So for example, instead of saying, explain this term, you can soften it and say, you might want to consider adding an explanation of this term. Some PIs will receive that tone of communication more positively. Some other techniques are to put your suggestion in terms of the reviewer or another reader rather than yourself, saying something like, this may not be clear to reviewers, makes it a bit less personal. Another technique is to put it in the form of a question rather than a statement. If you ask them a question like this, they may say to themselves, yes, I do have room to do that. Good idea. The first time that I work with someone, I say something like, these are just my suggestions, so please take or leave them as you think best. And as you see how each individual reacts throughout this process, the tone and the depth of your editing suggestions might evolve.
To add on to Rebecca's comments, editing can be viewed as an art form. The goal of editing is to provide constructive feedback, that will improve a proposal to secure high evaluation scores. Therefore, avoid negative comments that aren't helpful in achieving this goal. Comments such as, "What the heck are you thinking?" even if you are thinking that, are unlikely to get the desired response. Therefore, feedback should be given in a positive, collaborative manner. For example, mention that this is a good idea, but how will you execute it? Or you didn't address requirement 1, and if omitted, the proposal would be considered non-responsive.